Hey, what's going on? This is Jsean at Hot Reviews, and today I wanted to talk about a couple of technology pickups. If you're in the market for vlogging or a better way to self-film yourself or film yourself better, I just want to talk about a couple pickups that I did recently because these are kind of some things that investing in myself. And it's not about always having all the greatest cameras and the best technology. It's always about to me, it's about the ease of use and what allows you to do your basically just your job easier. So let's get right to it and let's talk about these pickups. All right.
Yeah. Jsean.
All right. So currently, I had for any type of self filming, basically things that I didn't really care about. I just wanted to hurry and film it. I used the G7X Mark II. That's this camera right here. For filming yourself, for vloggers and stuff like that, it works really well because it's pretty compact for the most part. And the biggest thing about it, honestly, is that you can see yourself. As simple as that sounds, it makes a huge difference when filming. Even when using something like a GoPro, even though it has a super wide field of view, it's just kind of weird sometimes when you just can't see yourself. It just kind of, it just kind of throws you off a little bit. So with that being said, I like this camera. The quality's okay. It's not, to me, honestly, when you play it on YouTube, the quality of this camera kind of comes off like cell phone footage to me, to be 100% honest. It's not bad. It's not good. It's just good enough to get your point across and your story, I guess, right? And to be honest, that's really good enough. The only problem that I had, and it only happened to me a few times, but those few times really stopped me from using this the way I wanted to because the audio. Now, I think in normal conditions, perfect conditions, speaking at a normal tone, the built-in audio actually sounds really good. The built-in audio almost has like lavalier-ish type quality, kind of like low-end presence, and it just sounds pretty good. And there was times where it was so windy outside, and yes, you could stick a little furry thing on top of the mic port and stuff like that. You could try that. I didn't want that. It's gonna block some of the view of the screen, and it's just I didn't want that on there. I guess that's somewhat of an alternative or a potential workaround. But I just started realizing that it had limitations basically. And I'm not a vlogger or somebody who films herself a lot necessarily on the go, but it was something that I wanted to kind of explore a little bit. And I felt like that was kind of holding me back. Now, I'm not saying that you can't use it. And if that's the only thing you have and the only thing that you can budget, you have to make the most of whatever you have. And I probably, if that was the case, I probably would have stuck like a little dead cat sticky thing on top or whatever the case is. So since then, I've had a lot of Sony cameras and Canon cameras. I'm filming on the EOS R right now. It's somewhat compact compared to a traditional full-frame DSLR. It has a flip screen. That's great, but for me, I don't even like the flip screen on the side, to be honest with you. I prefer it to be on top. This is me being real nitpicky, but these are things that I prefer. So you just have to figure out what you prefer. Do you like the flip screen on the side, on the top? Because at the end of the day, you have to fight. You have to find more positives than the negatives in order for you to be creative and do whatever task that you need done. So you just need to find the right tool for the right job. So for some, that may be perfect. For me, it's not. So I realized that if you are a person who films in public and you're not comfortable with it, it's not going to matter technically the size of the camera. It could be a small camera, it could be a big camera. If you're just not comfortable, you're not going to be comfortable despite that. I've been through that before where I tried to make the camera smaller and smaller and smaller, and it really didn't make a difference. I don't feel comfortable walking around holding the camera and stuff like that for like vlogging type of stuff. I'm very self-conscious about that. Just it's in my area, it's just not normal, and it's just weird. You know what I'm saying? If you're in a certain area where everybody's doing it, you probably wouldn't feel so awkward. I guess I probably wouldn't feel so awkward, but I do. So for some people, you may have the same issue. The only thing I would suggest is practice in a location like this. Practice just conversing with the camera and getting used to that part of it first, and then gradually get to maybe vlogging or something like that. So with that being said, like I said, I don't necessarily want it for vlogging per se, but it is a form of filming myself. I thought about the size factor is big for me. The other one is audio quality is really big, and the other one is image quality. So image quality is decent, and no matter what you film on, it's always going to look a little different when you upload it to YouTube. It won't look as good as it did from the original source. The EOS R looks good right out of camera. Maybe a little bit better in my opinion than how Sony stuff comes out. But now I use Sony strictly for photography purposes and needs. So I went and picked up a Sony a6600. They have a 6500, I believe, or 64. I think it's a 65 that has a flip screen. But the camera is much more compact than, say, an EOS R that has a flip screen. They just dropped the price to $1,200, and that's a lot more comparable than 14 for sure. 12 is, I wish it was more like 1,000. So if you're willing to invest in yourself and you're able to, I mean, you can save money and spend about $9, I think, on the 64, whatever the other model is with the flip screen. You lose a couple things that I'm not going to go into, so you have to research that to see which one's better for you. I guess it is all going to come down to your budget, actually, because if you just can't afford to spend $1,200, then just get the one that you can get and make the most out of it. If you can and have patience, save a little more, get the $1,200 version, the 6600. For me, one of the biggest things with the 6600, despite actual features, is the physical battery. Now, if you've ever had Sony cameras, they use a real small battery. If you stepped up to any of the newer full frame cameras from Sony, it has a much larger battery, which is, let's see if it goes in focus, which is much similar to what you would get out of a traditional like Canon DSLR. So if you're used to that, it will feel more normal to you, right? And I like to share batteries across the cameras. I don't like having different size batteries for different brands. That's very inconvenient to me. So with this, I just charge one style battery for my Sony cameras, and they all work with each other. And to me, that's makes a huge difference for me in my personal workflow. If you don't care about that, get the smaller battery, whatever. This one also has like unlimited recording time. And as long as the battery is still going to go, you can keep recording. Little stuff like that, I think is really convenient. The camera feels really nice and compact. So one thing I had a problem with is when you flip the screen up, you're going to actually cover if you put a microphone on a hot shoe. So I got this little bracket. It's a small rig bracket. It's already on here, so I'm not going to take it off. But it's like it's like $25 or so. It's this bracket that goes around here. You have to take off the little things here that allow you to hold like a neck strap, and you screw it right into these edges right here. And it gives you straps now, these little holes or slits or whatever you want to call it. So if you want to go ahead and put a neck strap, you still can. With that being said, the internal mic is not bad, but I don't need the best audio quality. I have better audio equipment that I could utilize, but to be realistic in my circumstances, I'm not going to break all that stuff out all the time when I'm on the go and I need something quick. So I don't need the best audio. I need good audio. I don't need the best visual quality, but I need good visual quality. I don't need the biggest camera. I don't need the smallest camera, but I need a good size camera where it's convenient, compact, I would say. This is where I feel like this camera really fits in. I did have to buy a lens though, which I didn't really want to invest in, but it's a 16 millimeter, which is good for if you want to vlog. You don't even need a tripod or anything like that. You could obviously use something like this Manfrotto, which is really convenient and really popular. You just open it up, lay it down, push this button to adjust. And again, I don't want to keep this as compact as possible. So with this, I bought this as a bundle. The body itself, I bought these accessories you see hanging over here separately. The lens I bought separately. This came from Adorama for $1,200, and it still came with like this Rode Video Micro and stuff like that. Now this is nice, but if you put on the side, it's a lot bigger. If you put on top with this new mount I have, it's too much for me because now it's starting to feel like a DSLR or something a little bulkier, and that's not what I wanted. So I got these Rode wireless Go's. You can get it for about $200 for the system here, just for the receiver and the transmitter. You can add a wired lav to it if you needed to. I honestly think it's a good buy. At first, I really wasn't interested in it because even though it seemed okay, I didn't have an actual personal need for it. And that's what I'm trying to tell you. You don't have to get everything because it's new or it's the latest or greatest. For example, this is $200. The camera was $1,200. The lens was $400. If you that starts adding up pretty quick. So if that's beyond your budget, hey, go ahead and get the 65 or 4 or whatever it is that has the other flip screen in it. If you need, and then add the microphone, and then add the lens or whatever it is, and then you'll be a little cheaper than how this is, by quite a bit actually. So that's what I'm saying is you have to just figure out what your budget is and what you're able to do. I'm the type of person, even if it's beyond my budget, but it's a little more, I'll have patience and I'll try to save for it and be able to get the one that I know I'm not going to look back on. I get the one that I know I feel like I don't need to upgrade anytime soon. So if you get and you feel like you're settling for the lower model and you feel like you really wanted this one, for example, just have a little bit of patience, save up and get the one that you really wanted. That way you can move forward, create, and you don't got to step backwards and keep worrying about equipment. I am a techie type of person, but let me just tell you how tech can move you forward and it can also hold you back because you'll be so worried about technology and gear. That stuff is really pricey. It's really expensive that you'll start worrying more about the gear than the actual content that you're creating. And that's something you want to make sure that you don't let affect what you're doing. Now, it doesn't have to be creative content. It could just be standard generic content. Whatever the case is, when you start worrying about the gear, it will overshadow the process, the organization, the just doing the video itself is going to slow you up. Just trust when I say this. I've been doing this for a long time. It's to a point now where I don't even try to make the videos as best as I could. And the reason for that is because I'll never put it out. You know what I'm saying? Like, I can make these videos so much better, way more cinematic, way more different type of angles. You know what I'm saying? I could do so many things that I have the potential to do. I have the gear for it actually here. I don't have to go buy it. It's just that it takes so much time, and I'm so much of a perfectionist with it that I'll actually never end up putting it out, or I'll put it out too slow. So I realize now it's not about being perfect. It's not about being good enough either, but it's about being just good. You know what I'm saying? Good for what you need it to be. And then you gradually move forward and forward and forward, and you invest more into it. Like, it would be totally unnecessary right now if I had drone shots and all this B-roll. It's not going to make an actual difference. Now, it will look better, but at this stage and where I am, it's not going to make an actual difference. As I grow and as, more people see the videos and the content, it will make sense to kind of like gradually grow with how you're growing. You know what I'm saying? If that makes any sense. So don't waste your time too much on technology. Get what you need, start, and keep it moving. So don't worry about multiple camera angles and none of that. So I'm kind of rambling a lot because, like I said, I'm trying to step away from typical tech reviews in a sense. I just want to talk to you like a normal person and kind of give you advice. This camera kind of meets all those things that I was saying that is my issue. So if those are your issues, you might find similarities in what I'm saying. If it's not your issue, then you can go ahead and get any camera you want, get a GoPro, whatever you need to do, just get the content and just start. That's all I'm saying. Just start whatever it is that you're talking about doing. Now, if you look at these Rode mics on the side, these work really good because they connect super fast. You will have to buy like an adapter of some sort. They just clip on. The microphone is built into the actual unit here. You can get a little dead cat, furry cat, whatever you want to call it. But it's basically to block out wind noise. That's exactly what this big furry thing is right here. The only problem is this was released like last year sometime. And apparently when it came out, these kept popping off. And I just bought mine yesterday at Best Buy, current. It still pops off. So that makes me wonder why I have like old stock, or I'm not really sure how that goes. But I know you can go to like Rode.com. Once you register your equipment, you can go ahead under, I think it's the mic tab, and then they'll send you 2 new updated ones. I don't know how long it's going to take, but I didn't really feel like doing all that process. But they have great customer service nonetheless. It's just that I figured since I was buying it literally present day, I wouldn't have to do all this. So maybe I got an old one. I don't know how it could be old because they don't really carry these in Best Buy like that, and they're always out of stock. So this is the box, how it comes in. It basically just comes in a pouch. You get 2 charging cables, a USB-C. From what I'm told and what I hear, these last quite a while. You can film probably like 5 hours worth of audio or something. So it's something that will last you for the most part of the day. And it comes in a little pouch. And it comes with 2 of these. The only thing that I have a problem with, or I wish it came with at least a charging brick, like a charging brick with 2 USB slots for these. So it came with the cables, but no charging brick. So you got to kind of come up with that by yourself. That kind of sucks, but it is what it is, I guess. The actual audio quality sounds pretty good. I really like it. Compared to this, which is like maybe a $60 solution, I believe, it doesn't sound bad at all. It sounds better. So if you take the internal audio of a camera, this would be a step up, right? It captures more ambient noise, I would say. When you use something like this, it's a step above that. You hear more bass response because the microphone is closer to you. You hear a little bit less ambient noise that's around you, and you hear more of the source. When you add, you can plug in a lavalier, and it doesn't have to be the best lavalier. You just want one that doesn't have a lot of self noise to it. I have a Sennheiser one, which is a kind of pricey, but I plugged it into it. It's not as loud, so you have to boost the gain on these devices itself. Try not to have the camera's internal audio up too loud to avoid self noise, but that's a whole nother techie type video or techie type response or information. Just it'll sound even better and quieter and more focused on your voice, and then even less ambient noise. You know what I'm saying? So it all depends. Like I said, there's so many levels of what it could be. All right, let's go, because I don't want to use this big furry the dead cat on the microphone. I feel like it's too big, and I don't really want to use I feel like it's too inconvenient. It looks too obtrusive for what I want it for. And let me know what you think. Let me know if you think this is a good setup, how it sounds. And I'm also going to get the wireless Go maybe tonight if I can find it in stock somewhere. And then I'm going to go ahead and do an audio comparison to see if it's even worth getting it. The only thing is, for what I want it for, sometimes I want to be away from the camera. I'm not always going to be so close like this. So let me know what you guys think. Hey, what's going on? It's Jsean at Hat Hair Reviews. And today I'm doing another test real quick. I'm using this Rode Wireless Go. I kind of want to just see how this is gonna work out. And yeah, so I think I have the volume at 10, and I have the Rode Wireless at its lowest setting. But so far I'm digging the system. Just the only thing I might be concerned about is the internal battery. But so far I'm digging the system. Just the only thing I might be concerned about is the internal battery. To be honest, this is good enough. Right? Anything better than the internal audio is good enough for what you need. When I say good enough, I hate settling, because I think whatever is good enough, you should go one step higher, right? But this is good. The only problem is it's good enough and a step higher than what it needs to be. It's just that because some people don't even use this. They'll just use just the internal audio. Some people use big rigs with a big old shotgun mic on it. It all depends what it is that you're comfortable with and what you need. I don't need all that. This right here, I don't like the size. It defeats the whole purpose for me to get a smaller lens, smaller body, and then I got this big old situation right here. It defeats the purpose for me. It's like having a small body and then having a huge lens on it, and it defeats the purpose again. So I wanted something compact. So as you can see, it's very slimline. This bracket here that I showed you from Small Rig, it basically has a cold shoe here and on the side. So you can put on the side or top. The difference is that this wire, I just wrapped it around because the inputs are on this side. So I'd rather have everything on one side. But it's slim. It all fits like the shape. It fits the shape of the body for the most part. It doesn't really change the size of it so much. Then this right here, it's rubberized. So in the inside, so if you clip it, just say like here, for example, or you might want to put it where the clip is on the outside instead of on the or the other way, because it'll be reflective because it's glossy on the other side. Now this, you just see the clip. At the end of the day, it's not the prettiest option, but it's not bad. So to me, this is a step up. in audio quality, one, but it's also because it's much more compact. It's much more smaller, and it works better for what I want, right? And that's what I'm saying. Just get what you need, and if you can, have a little patience, expand your budget a little bit, and get a little bit of what you want, and keep filming. Do what you got to do. Get the process started. So my whole area here is so messy, but I definitely give this body a thumbs up. Some people will compare this to the old version and say you don't need it. It's not worth the upgrade. I've never seen anybody actually buy it, right? Who could have it, who could budget it out, right? And say, you know what, I should have never bought this. I should have just bought the cheaper version. I've never seen anybody say that. The only people I ever see say that is people who have the lower end version who say, I don't need to spend that money and get a couple more features. So you just have to figure out what you need, what you want. Stop worrying about all the tech reviews and all this technical mumbo jumbo. Ask yourself what you need. Ask yourself what your budget is, and then proceed. And that's pretty much it. So find out what you need first and then apply it. And then this is another thing. I picked up these accessories real quick. These are a little more affordable. You can get this from Amazon. This is a brass step-up ring. Brass, let's see, I hope it's in focus. But brass step-up rings tend to not stick together as easy. It costs a little bit more. You can tell the weight is a bit more too, but it works pretty well. I don't know if I really needed it. You could have spent literally a couple of dollars. I got the same thing, much lighter, just cheap, because it's still going to stick to something no matter what. This right here is made by, I guess, Rig. Hopefully you can see it. This is really cool because it screws on the end of your camera, and if you put an ND filter, if you're aware of what that is, sometimes you don't need the ND filter, right? Or a variable ND. You can just flip this out of the way and it works really good. And then you can just flip it right back. So I usually get 82 millimeter and then have a step-up ring to make it work for all the lenses I have. But right now, currently, my biggest filter thread is only 77 now. So I just bought a 77 to 82. I only have one or two lenses at 67 millimeter. So that's why I bought the step-up ring. And then my filter itself is 82. So I would definitely recommend this. This was like under 30. I'm just going to sneak this in here because I didn't know what I wanted, because I have different uses and different reasons for different cameras. But one thing I don't want is too many cameras, and that's a problem. So I'm slowly kind of doing that to myself again. And when you have too many cameras, too many options, even though when you don't have anything, you wish and you want every option that you can possibly imagine, you feel like you're missing out on something. But let me just tell you, when you have too many options, sometimes cameras will sit, ideas will sit, and at least for me, I'll get scrambled, and I'll move less, actually. Sometimes simple is better. Less is more, you know what I mean? But they have this new GoPro. It's a GoPro Hero 8, so it's newer. It's not new, but it's newer. It's their latest version of the GoPro. To be honest, I kind of wrote GoPro off. I have a GoPro Hero 4 Silver, and it's perfect for me. I really like it, especially like for fun stuff, vacationing, anything to do with water. The audio is good, even in a waterproof case. It's probably better without the case, but I find it to be totally acceptable. You'll get noise when you rub the camera and hold it and stuff like that, but it's really good. This one, I don't know. I know it has 4K and stuff like that, but I don't need 4K and stuff like this. And the files, I don't need the file sizes that's going to come with, but it has some cool features. One of the biggest ones is this internal stabilization. It works really well. I just don't know if I really need this now. And one of the things is you can't really protect the front element like you could before. I did get the tempered glass from GoPro. You can get it cheaper on Amazon, but I paid like $20 for the GoPro, the official GoPro version. I don't know if it's better glass. I'm not really sure, but I paid $20 for it at Best Buy. And it's a bit bigger than the GoPro Hero 4 also. But other than that, if you do need something like this, I do like it though. It's just I already have one. If you didn't have one and you didn't need this camera and you were looking, or you're in a market for action camera, I would definitely recommend this. I think it's really good. This runs a bit cheaper than a bigger camera, but it is limited, but it can do things that a regular camera can't do. And it's on sale right now, I think for $400 I paid for a bundle. It comes with like a little, kind of like a hand grip and a couple little accessories. I did buy some accessories for it though, like this waterproof housing. I was so concerned about audio, as you can tell now. See, that other GoPro I use for real personal stuff, so I don't really care about the audio. This housing is a bit bigger and it's clear. I wish it was black. but it is a bit bigger. It makes the camera a bit bigger. It does protect it pretty well. Excuse me. And it does come with different backs, so you can still touch the screen. The only problem I have is that I don't know how this actually affects the audio now. And yeah, I have to test it to see if it's good enough, because this will, I guess, be the ultimate way to protect it. And you can still dive with it or whatever by changing the back and go even further. But I guess that's pretty much it. I'm going to stop rambling now. If you have any questions about any of these particular items, any technical questions, let me know, and I'll try to answer below, or somebody else who's watching it can answer below and give you a better response, a more detailed response. And that's pretty much it. All right, until next time, I'll talk to you later. Make sure you do everything at top level, at your top level. Remember, you're in no competition with nobody, just yourself and your last move. Make sure your next move is your best move, or definitely your better move. And I'll talk to you later. All right.